Welcome back to Anatomy of a King. Fellas, today's episode is not about blame. It's not about attack. It's not about ego. It's about healing. Because there's a phrase circulating in our community that is tearing us apart quietly, slowly, deeply. A phrase that shuts down communication, destroys trust, and turns love into suspicion. That phrase, you hate black women, or the remix, you must hate your mother. Today, we're going to talk about why this rhetoric is so dangerous. Not just for black men, not just for black women, but for the future of our families, our relationships, and our community. And I'm going to do it with compassion, because compassion is the only way to get anywhere. Remember, what you don't change, you choose. And this change can't afford excuses. Let's unpack that. I want to start with empathy. When a black woman hears critique from a black man, she's not just hearing your words. She's hearing her past, her pain, her experiences, her disappointments, her fears. She's hearing her memories of not being protected and memories of her being dismissed. So sometimes, even when you speak calmly, lovingly, respectfully, she hears danger. Not because you're dangerous, but because she's been hurt before. This is trauma speaking, not truth. And trauma doesn't speak in nuance. It speaks in absolutes. You hate black women. You hate your mother. You're attacking us. This is not an accurate reflection of your heart. It's an accurate reflection of her history. And when we understand that, we can respond with compassion instead of defensiveness. Social media took that pain and amplified it. Online, everything is extreme. If a man critiques a behavior, he hates women. If a woman critiques a man, she's holding him accountable. One side gets labeled as hate, the other gets labeled as truth. And the algorithm loves division. It rewards outrage. It pushes the loudest, angriest voices to the front. So now a black man can say something as simple as, hey, that wasn't okay. And suddenly he's misogynistic, traumatized, hating his mother, hating black women, a danger to the community. Fellas, that's not real life. It's digital distortion. And it's poisoning how we talk to each other offline. Most of the time when I make comments on social media, which I try not to do anymore, when I hear this saying, I label it as a dangerous rhetoric. And it's dangerous because it does 5 things that weaken our community. The first thing it does is it shuts down communication. If every critique equals hate, then no growth can happen. You can't build a relationship, a family, or a community without correction. 2, it punishes black men for speaking honestly. You said you wanted honesty. A man who loves you will correct you. A man who doesn't care will stay silent. Silence is not love. Silence is abandonment. 3, it creates emotional hostility. We start seeing each other as opponents instead of partners. 4, it makes black men afraid to express their needs. Men shut down. Men withdraw. Men stop communicating. Men stop trying. A silent man is a disconnected man. 5, it destroys trust. If a man can't critique without being accused of hate, he stops believing he can be safe with you. And when a man doesn't feel safe, he doesn't stay. This rhetoric doesn't protect black women. It isolates them. This rhetoric doesn't hold black men accountable. It silences them. This rhetoric doesn't build community. It fractures it. Here's what rarely gets said. Most black men love black women deeply. Most black men want connection, not conflict. Most black men want partnership, not power struggles. Most black men want peace, not dominance. But we don't get celebrated for that. We don't get acknowledged for that. We don't get seen for that. The good men are quiet. The loudest men online are not the majority. But the algorithm makes it look like they are. So when a good man speaks, he gets lumped in with the worst examples. That's not fair, that's not accurate, and that's not love. But again, I don't want to place blame on anybody. I want to lay accountability in the end at the feet of you, King. So we got to learn to critique with compassion. You critique behavior, not identity. You say, I love you, but this wasn't okay. I care about us, so I need to say this. I'm not attacking you. I'm trying to build with you. You stay grounded, you stay steady, you stay loving. Because correction without compassion feels like control. But correction with compassion feels like care. And when you speak with compassion, you give her a chance to hear you without feeling attacked. I can't do this episode and not give you some kind of advice on when you're accused or when she says you hate black women. When she says this, you respond with, no, I love black women. That's why I'm speaking. If I didn't care, I'd stay quiet. I'd stay silent. When she says, you must hate your mother, you respond with, my mother raised me to speak truth with love. I'm honoring her by doing exactly that. When she says, you're attacking me, you respond with, I'm addressing a behavior, not your worth. You matter too much for me to stay quiet. This is how a king speaks. Firm, loving, grounded. I feel like we need, on the healing path going forward, I feel like we need a new agreement in our community. One where critique is not hate, it's communication. Where correction is not misogyny, it's maturity. Disagreement is not disrespect, it's dialogue. Accountability is not an attack, it's alignment. Love requires honesty, not silence. If we want healthy relationships, healthy families, healthy communities, we must learn to talk to each other without assuming the worst. We must learn to hear correction without hearing. We must hear correction without feeling condemned. We must learn to separate behavior from identity. We must learn to love each other enough to tell the truth. Black men, Black women, we are not enemies. We are not opponents. We are not at war. We are two halves of the same legacy, two halves of the same story, two halves of the same future. And if we don't heal this communication gap, we will lose each other. Remember, what you don't change, you choose. And this change can't afford excuses. This has been the Anatomy of King. And today, we unpack that. We chose healing. See you next time. Thank you.